What's going on, fellas? You know who it is. So, in this video, I'm not going to be talking about the obvious signs of a feminist, right? You can read the title. But I'm just going to go briefly over them. What are some of the obvious signs? Well, not even over, any tattoos, excessive piercings, colored hair, short hair, loud mouth, bull nose piercings, tongue piercing, shit like that, you know? Smoker, if she smokes weed, cigarette, whatever, alcohol drinker, um, complete complete slut, you know, body count over 50 plus, 98.9% of college women. These are all obvious signs she's a feminist. If she's in college, fellas, she's a feminist. Point blank, period. You know what? I'm gonna talk about college girls and on this topic, if she's in college, she's a feminist. Way more into depth in another video. But just to give you a quick brief summary over that, why do you think she's in college? She wants to do what every single man is trying to do. She's trying to make it in life, have a career, have her education, trying to be strong and independent. She's trying to be like a man. The number one slogan of feminism. Point blank, period. So these are all obvious signs. You know, if a girl's coming up to you and preaching this, I'm strong and independent, but men should still pay for my date. That kind of bullshit. Yeah, it's clear. She's a feminist. Anytime a woman says I'm strong and independent, anytime a woman says I have more than my vagina to offer to you, in the West especially, because most Western women don't have shit to offer but her run through stanky ass vagina. Anytime she says anything in those line, anything in those situations, in those aspects, just know she's a feminist. Now let's talk about some of the hidden signs. Number one is if in her Instagram or Facebook or wherever it says, or Snapchat or wherever it says she/her. What does that mean? That means that she recognizes that there are 100 different genders, and we ought to call her a she or a her. Now, how would it be if how would we treat a guy if a guy had that written on his Instagram bio, he/his? We would ridicule him, right? We would laugh at him. We'll call him all sorts of names, but we give women a pass. Why? Just because she has a stanky ass vagina in between her legs. Point blank, period, right? Anyways, so fellas, that's the number one sign. That means that she recognizes that there are multiple other genders, that trannies and other sorts of genders are actually genders and not just a male and a female. There's multiple genders. She recognizes that. And what kind of people recognize that, fellas? Feminists. End of story. Number two, if you look at her Instagram profile, and I made a brief video about this. Her Instagram says a lot. Her Instagram says everything about her. I think that was the video title. Go check it out. If on her Instagram or social media presence or any other social media platforms, you are seeing that she's taking excessive booty pics, cleavage pics, thought pics. Why? It's because, and also I'm going to throw in the, what do you call it? The girls who don't take excessive pictures. What do I mean by excessive pictures? Excessive pictures meaning that every other picture or every 2 to 3 pictures she's posting bikini posts. And I'm gonna throw girls who don't post excessive pictures on there as well. Which girls are those? The girls who post bikini pictures once in a blue moon. Even those girls go into this category. They're also feminists as well. Why? Because they know that if they show skin, they're gonna get more attention. The more skin that they show, the more attention that they get. Now, what does that tell you about the girl? First of all, she's an attention whore. What does that tell you about an attention whore? Attention whore is somebody who thinks that she's better than a man just because she has more dicks in her phone, more cock attention in her phone than the guy who gets less pussy attention. And we can never compete with women when it comes to the numbers game. We all know this. What we can compete with women though is when it comes to the quality game. I talked about this briefly in my last video. I said, women will always win the numbers game. They'll always have more dicks in their phone than we will have pussies in our phone. But those cocks in their phone are no good. Those men in her phone are no good. They're simps. They have low value. They're no good pussy simp manginas. That's all they are. Soy boys, cucks. But we can win the quality game by banging out hotter chicks if we become high value. And we also win the quality game is when we become a high value than she is. What does that mean? That means that we are more of a man than she is of a woman. She is less of a woman and more of a thought, and we are more of an actual real man, actual real alpha male than we are to a beta male simp. That's what that means. That's why we win this attractiveness game, if you want to call it that way. But that's how we win this quality game. Anyways, so when she is thinking that she's better than you in that sense, just because the sole fact that she gets 500, 400, 600 likes on her Instagram pictures, that automatically makes her a feminist. Anytime a woman thinks she's better than men, she's a feminist. That's it. And I always tell you guys that men are fundamentally better than women. Why? Because every single thing women are trying to do in today's society, except shaking their ass and except being an attention whore, you know. When I say every single thing women are trying to do, I mean when they go to college and try to be strong and independent, because that's what majority of Western women are doing today. They want to go to college. Even Eastern women, fellas, their parents are telling them, oh yeah, go to college, get an education. Everything that they're doing resembles them wanting to be like a man. That means what? That means the man has already carved a path that they're following. They're trying to be like a man. You don't hear us men saying, you know what? I'm gonna go to sewing school. I'm gonna go to cooking school. I'm sorry, men do end up being chef. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't hear men say that I want to be more like a woman, because they know that that strength and independence is a man's quality. It's not a female's quality. That's why when a woman says I want to be strong and independent, what she's really saying, I want to be like a man. So that's why every time a girl thinks that she's better than you, she's a feminist, and that's why men are also better than women fundamentally. Now you might say, oh Zeke, women have been oppressed their whole life. That's why they weren't able to create or carve a new path that men can follow. First of all, that's never going to happen. Why? Because biologically, we're hardwired to be the leaders. Women aren't. And with hundreds and thousands of years of evolution, that biological hardwiring has become even stronger. How? Because back in the caveman era days, we men had to be the leader and protect the women and the children. And that's why it's us men who are still carving new paths, making new innovations, making new inventions, and women are following that path. Let's talk about the past 20 years. Women are unoppressed as much as they were before that, right? So women went to college at all-time high rate in the past 20 years than they ever have. So I still don't see any new path that women created. All these degrees that the women are going after, men have made these degrees, and men have gone and pursued these degrees, these career paths, long before women came in. And women, since they have been into the college scene, they still haven't created a new path that men follow and go become that. Doctors, lawyers, engineers, smart people, businessmen, powerful men across the globe are mostly men. So women are always going to be beneath us just because of the sole fact that they're women. We are better than them. Dude, they gotta sit down to take a piss. That's just sad. Like, we have a dick. We can stand up and take a piss. That's sad to sit down and take a piss. Like, what, dude? No, that's just sad. That's depressing. You know, sometimes we as men sit down and take a shit, and while we're taking a shit, we piss sometimes too. We're shitting and pissing at the same time. It makes me sad when I'm sitting there and I'm shitting and I'm pissing at the same time. Every time piss comes out of my dick and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man. Anyways, I'm fucking with you. But fellas, That's the third sign. That anytime, I'm not keeping track. Anytime a woman thinks that she's better than you, she's a feminist. And obviously she's not gonna sit there and tell you out loud, oh yeah, I think I'm better than you. It's just you have to watch her actions, what she's doing. She might say that men and women are equal, and she might say that, oh yeah, I want a caring guy, and I'm gonna give him my care back as well. But at the end of the day, she's always thinking she's better than you. Why do you think these women act so stuck up when you walk up to them, try to approach them, and try to say hi to them? Because they think they have more value than you, just because more men want them than women want you. Because women are fucking stupid. They think that just because they're getting cock attention means that they're better than you, even though you might be a millionaire, even though you have an IQ point of 200, even though you have tons of real estate properties, even though you're a smart, logical, strong, physically strong person, mentally strong person, stable person. That's just how women are. We have to accept it and move on. Next hidden sign that I have that makes a woman a feminist is when she's hanging out with ugly, fat, or out of her race people. Let me elaborate. And I know this is going to trigger some people, but go fuck yourself. I don't care. Anyways, when you see an attractive white girl, and I'm going to bring up race in here. When you see an attractive white girl and you look at her friends, you see a black girl, attractive or non-attractive, or a fat person, a fat white girl even, in her friend circle, she's a feminist. Why? Because like-minded people go together. And most fat, ugly women are feminists in today's society. They didn't have an outlet to express themselves because they're too fucking ugly and fat. That's why they're not wanted by anybody. And that's when feminism came in. That was their outlet to express their loud mouth. And when an attractive white girl, or now let's equalize it and say any attractive girl is friends with fat or ugly people, she's automatically a feminist because her friends are most likely are one as well. Now, another thing about these type of girls who are in the group with these fat and ugly people, they're always the center of the attention. So if you're trying to approach a girl like that, you have to make sure they're entertaining the whole group, and you also have to make sure that her ego, her self-esteem is through the fucking roof. Because everywhere she goes, she gets all the attention. Anyways, and why did I bring up black girls in this when a white girl's friends with a black girl? When I was talking about attractiveness. Because fellas, I don't give a fuck about your feelings, but this is the truth that white women are desired by most people across the globe, and black women are desired by the least amount of people across the globe. That's just a fact. You take it or you leave. I don't give a fuck. Why do you think there's more white women in the porn industry than there are black women? Something to think about, right? Anyways, fellas, I don't come in here and talk shit on stuff I have no clue about. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Take my advice or don't, that's up to you. Fellas, next point that I have, hidden sign that she's a feminist, is when a woman is shit. It just completely escaped my mind, and I'm really pissed about that. That's what happens. I start talking about some random bullshit, and I go off on a different tangent, and I completely lose thought of my chain of thought about whatever the fuck I was talking about before I went down that tangent. Anyways, but fellas, these are the main hidden signs. All right, I don't think I'm missing out something on here. But if you guys would like to add something to this, please feel free to leave a comment. I love reading your comments, and it helps us grow our knowledge as a community. Oh man, I always feel like I'm leaving something out. I'm missing something. Crap, what was it that I was going to talk about? I think that was it. I don't think there was any other point. Oh, here we go. Another hidden sign that she's a feminist is if she's over the age of, you know what? I'm gonna leave the age out of this. if you are in a discussion with her, or you are in a discussion with her and and other people around you, let's say you're in a group of people and she's there as well, a group of friends or whatever, and she always needs to be heard. She always has an opinion about something and she doesn't shut the fuck up. That's a sign of a feminist. Doesn't matter how pretty, how ugly, how whatever she is. It's a clear-cut sign of a feminist. And, oh, now I remember my point that I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about it after this one. And fellas, you'll see that more older women usually do this. They want to shut the fuck up. They always have something to talk about. They always have their input into everything, even if they're asked or not. Younger girls usually don't do this. Doesn't mean that younger girls are not feminists. It's just they haven't. It's just they know that they don't need to open their mouth to get the attention. They have their youth and beauty. Older women know that they ain't got shit anymore, so that's why they gotta keep whapping like a fucking chihuahua to have more attention, to have the spotlight on them. It doesn't matter if she knows what the hell she's talking about or not. Last point, fellas, and this is going to trigger even more people. If a bitch has written, and I'm not talking about black women here, okay? Because most black women are feminists. Why? Because black women are, I already mentioned, in the attractive Tatum poll, black women are at the very bottom of it. They're the least desirable. And when you're the least desirable in the attractive scale, feminism is your outlet. You need some sort of outlet to have some sort of attention, right? You get the attention through feminism, and that's why black people, most black women are feminists. I shouldn't say black people, because black men are a lot more understanding and a lot more logical and reasonable nowadays than black women. Anyways, but my last point here is, if she's a white girl or Hispanic girl, whatever, if before I talk about this point, let me briefly say something real quick, because this is very important. Anytime you see a fat or an ugly girl, just assume that she's a feminist. Why? I've already answered it. Ugly people, fat people, sexually least attractive people need an outlet to keep getting that attention, and that outlet is feminism for them. So if it's an attractive white girl, Asian girl, Hispanic girl, whatever, if it's an attractive girl, even black girl, let's put those in there. There's some very attractive black women I've met. If there's an attractive woman who has written Black Lives Matter on her social media platform, and she is doing the rest of this bullshit that everybody else is doing. And yes, I'm going to bring up politics, I'm going to bring up race, and I already said it, it's going to trigger a lot of people. I don't care, because this needs to be said. This needs to be said. And she has, sometimes these bitches post like a picture of a black screen and they caption it Black Lives Matter. If they have that movement in their Instagram or in their social media platforms, she's a feminist. Why? Because that is another source for them to get attention. Do you really think these bitches give a fuck about black lives? No, they don't. They really don't. They really fucking don't, fellas. I care about more black people than any of these hosts combined, than all of these hosts combined ever will. What makes you say that, Zeke? How can you say that you care about black people, black lives, more than any of these thoughts? Because I know that as a black male, as a black man, it's that much harder nowadays to get some pussy from an attractive female. Regardless of all this porn that you guys watch, white girls loving black dick and whatever, all this shit, most white girls, and regardless of the social stigma, most white girls still to this day want majority of white guys. That leaves us colored brothers, brown or black or whatever, with minimal to no option. And that's why we're sexually frustrated, and that's why we simp. You'll see it's usually black men who are simps more than white men. White men are usually cucks and soy boys. Black men are usually the simps. And they go out and try to simp for these hoes in the hopes of getting some pussy, and they get more and more frustrated and they throw their whole entire life chasing pussy like that. I am making these videos for these men to stop doing that and to get their grind on and to improve their lifestyle and to make them a better version of themselves. So I honestly give a shit about black lives more than any of you hoes out here who's posting this Black Lives Matter bullshit on your Instagram. I'm myself, my dad's family's African, so that's another style, that's another topic. I don't want to get into that. That's redundant. Like, okay, I'm part black, so what? A lot of black people don't care about each other. It's not about you. It's not about the color of your skin that makes you who you are. It's part of it, but we as men have a lot more than just that going on for ourselves, if we choose to use it for our own benefits. Anyways, so they're doing it just for the attention, which goes back to my other point about attention whores. They know that this movement is going to unite them. Fellas, why do these hosts think that they can actually make a change posting these shits? Why do you guys think that? You're not gonna make any fucking change. You don't have any power. To make change, you need power. I can't sit here and change anything if I don't grow my subscribers, if nobody fucking watches me. I can only change when I have a follower, when I have a number of people following me. I can only make some sort of impact then. These bitches ain't got shit. But they know if they do that, they're gonna get the support from more and more people. And they like that attention. That's it. They're really not saying anything. All the shit that they say is kind of frivolous. It's surface level shit that they say. Oh, Black Lives Matter. No lives matter until Black Lives Matter. All this nonsense that they say. It's just surface level shit. They have zero IQ, zero idea, and zero knowledge about what's actually going on behind the scenes. They're ignorant as fuck. But they still will not stop with this crap. Simply because it gives them the attention. Women will do anything and everything just for some attention. You best believe it. Fellas, this video went way longer than I thought it would, but these were some good points. If I hurt your feelings, go drink a soda. Don't come in here bitch moan and complain. I could honestly give a shit less. You guys know me already. I say the shit that needs to be said, that needs to be addressed. Like it or not. Hope this video made sense. Like, comment, subscribe. Share this video to your friends. Follow me on Instagram at Zeekpeak. Until next time, stay blessed, stay beautiful, and above all, stay classy.